Hey class, this video is for PE 565 for the crisis management. First of all, that was just a great show of not only sportsmanship but just class by the team to do that. You know, because a lot of times it is hard as a coach to make a decision where it could cost your team the game, in which this case it did. But I think there's more important things, than always than wins or losses. And in that situation, it's perfectly displayed right there. They were able to show kind of like what it means to be a true sport. And that kid, I went through something definitely that's losses, um, something that's much more important than basketball or any sport for that matter. But to answer the questions and saying why it's essential to have for a sports manager to have a crisis management plan. I think just because at any time these situations, crisis can happen, natural call. I mean, things can happen, and you just never know when they are. You can't prepare for it. The only thing you can do to prepare for it is have a plan for how you're going to handle it when something does happen. So the steps you need to have, and like people in place, and who's gonna make the emergency phone calls, who's going to gather the people, who's going to be there. You need to have all those things in place so that when something does happen, everyone's ready for it, as ready as they can be, as ready as far as like, okay, I know what my assigned role is. We've talked about this before. Doesn't mean it's not something I think that you need to have a meeting for every single week or something like that. But I think it's something that obviously in the beginning of a season or before something gets going, you need to have a conversation about how we're going to handle this if said crisis was to happen. So I think that as a sports manager, you wouldn't be doing your job completely if you're not able to develop the crisis management plan, and have it for a situation when something could occur. I think if you're considering your faith and beliefs, if something like this was happening, and considering just as a Christian how it said to come alongside your brothers and just love them. I think in this situation, that's kind of the approach I would take. If I was the other team, first of all, you want to get in contact with the coach to see kind of if there's anything that you could do. First of all, is there anything that you can do for them, and if that's not playing the game, which is not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, because the kid, there's way more important things than playing a game at this point in time because of what the kid is actually going through. So I think that it's important to remember that, and as a Christian to kind of check on him, just trying to make sure that he's okay, and if there's anything you can do. And I think if it was happening to my team or my organization, I think first of all you need to give the kid time, make sure that he knows that this game is not more important than being there with his family, but also let him know that you're there for him, and that's just a talk, a shoulder, whatever he needs or she needs in the situation to get through this situation. As far as not being alone. As Christians, we're called to love our neighbors, and I think that there's no more difficult time. There's not a more important time to be there for your neighbors when it's in a loss or when someone loses like a family member or something like that. So I think that is kind of just how, if I'm considering my faith, how I would handle the situation. When it comes to those free throws, I think they did the correct thing. There's no way that you take it out on the kid for being late to a game because he was there with his mother who just passed away, and he decided that he was going to come and be a part of the game. So I think as a coach, you have to make a decision like the one this coach made and said, no, I don't want those free throws. I don't want those points from that because I'm not going to punish the kid for that. So I think, and lastly, like what this response demonstrated about my belief in God, it's just that He's a sovereign God, and that I know that He forgives, and I know that in situations like this, He calls us to mourn, and He calls us to mourn the loss of our of our family members and friends, family, whatever it may be. So, who am I to not to just punish someone for being there for their family? So I think that's, you know, I think that's what that says. So all that said, best of luck this week to everyone, and that's my response.